Someone killed Wang Guozhu with a stick, buried the body, and stole his gun, fearing exposure from bullets when confronting South Asians. Self-censorship indeed. Back at the station, he swapped gun numbers and files, such a tech wizard, then robbed with Wang's gun. He could fulfill greed and frame South Asians. The detective uncovered the truth in Gao's dark plan to target a boy. He hurried to find Zhiwei only to discover that he was already in danger, and under the disguise of a mask, Gao Zhiwei turned him into a punching bag. He even pointed a gun at his head, but luck wasn't on Gao Zhiwei's side. He couldn't find Zhiwei's weapon, because the gun was taken by the detective in the day. This twist crushed Gao Zhiwei's plan. It also gave Zhiwei a stay of execution by the time the detective arrived. Gao Zhiwei had vanished like lightning, leaving he in a daze like a lost soul. To the detective, Zhiwei had become that little boy on the run, and he felt like he had unlocked the mystery of the entire story. Convince Zhiwei to capture Gao, verify his gun's ballistics for a perfect ending. But after all that, Zhiwei no longer trusted the detective and thought he might actually be a nutcase. No matter how the detective persuaded, he wouldn't budge. Fear decided never checking again. His thoughts were solely on retrieving his weapon, and the detective worried about Zhiwei's future, choosing to drive off instead. Left with no choice, Zhiwei returned to the station to report his missing gun, only to be stopped by his girlfriend, Kai. Kai reminded him of an upcoming promotion. Reporting would stain him as a traitor. He suggested finding the gun first for ease of movement. Zhiwei took his girlfriend's gun, sought Gao Zhiwei, ready to show off. He wanted to check on his weapon, but the police file numbers had been tampered with, making it impossible to identify. Zhiwei was completely disillusioned. He thought of him as a fraud, just as Gao Zhiwei claimed to have found the killer, and invited Zhiwei to join him in catching the bad guy. He thought, catch the South Asian and the truth will be clear, so he happily agreed. When they arrived at the scene, they indeed ran into armed South Asians, and the detective seized the moment to track them in secret. He raised his gun, ordering Gao Zhiwei to surrender his, but Zhiwei aimed at the detective. Oh no! In the standoff, a South Asian yelled that Gao Zhiwei killed Wang Guozhu, and immediately Gao fired first to silence him, while the detective tried to subdue Gao. Unexpectedly, Zhiwei fired several shots from behind. After injuring Gao was met with the detective's final counterattack. Ultimately, he took down Gao Zhiwei, but the story wasn't over. In the detective's eyes, that cowardly Zhiwei was plagued by inner demons once again. This inner demon nudged him to call Kai, concocting lies to cover everything up. The gravely injured detective saw all this unfold and, feeling utterly drained, succumbed to his fate in a pool of blood. As the sole survivor, Zhiwei heeded the demon's instructions, calling his girlfriend to come clean up the mess, and then he began switching out the weapons at the scene. The film concluded amidst this suspenseful atmosphere, leaving many viewers puzzled about how Zhiwei would weave a lie to escape his fate. Even until the end of the film, Zhiwei was still swapping out guns, showing that he hadn't figured out how to spin this tale. Whether he had escaped justice was still up in the air. This was the dark enigma left by the writers for the audience. Let's recap the whole case. It's like a roller coaster ride, thrilling and chilling. Gao Zhiwei chased the South Asian and lost his gun, then killed Wang Guozhu, stealing his, fearing that bullets would give away his identity. He didn't dare to shoot in public, originally planning to use Wang Guozhu's gun to kill Zhiwei and then use his gun to eliminate the South Asian. He intended to fake their mutual demise, but the detective foiled his plan by taking his gun. Meanwhile, he got his girlfriend's gun, turning the scene into chaos, with an awkward and comical ending. Gao Zhiwei used Wang Guozhu's gun to kill the South Asian and injured Zhiwei. The detective killed Gao Zhiwei with his gun, a true hidden dragon, first shot by he with his girlfriend's gun, then by Gao with Wang's. So how can Zhiwei totally clear his name? First, he and his girlfriend must have their guns in hand, and the remaining weapons need to be switched out. One seemingly viable scheme would be to place Gao Zhiwei's original weapon in the detective's hands, fabricating a lie that the detective was in cahoots with the South Asians, which would justify Gao Zhiwei killing one for his weapon back. Zhiwei injures the detective's girlfriend, trying to impede the detective from following. During the chaos, Zhiwei takes the shot at Gao Zhiwei, and everything seems to have a rhyme and reason. Yet this plan is riddled with holes, aiming to prove that the detective was in league with the South Asians. The police would naturally investigate both their phones and bank accounts, making it easy to expose the lies. Moreover, he called his girlfriend only after everyone was dead, leaving a serious inconsistency between the time of death and her arrival. What a killer flaw! Plus, Zhiwei and Gao Zhiwei arrived at the scene together. The surveillance would have recorded their moves, no way to fake it. In fact, Zhiwei's best choice is to confess. Losing his gun impacts his career, but it's better than tampering with evidence and obstructing justice. Covering a lie with another lie will only dig your own grave deeper. As the film depicts, in extreme situations, people's hearts are driven by demons, leading to disastrous choices. But turning back in time is the real redemption. As a highly rated Hong Kong mystery film, The Detective stands out for its compelling plot and profound character portrayals, a true classic.